Okay, so this is going to be a short rant about Incantagos, second boss, right? I've basically slowly been doing these for all the bosses, but I will probably do some actual guides at some point, but for now this is all I'm doing. But this is just for people to get what it is they fucking need to do so we can actually get through the bosses. We now have 3 kara40s, and they're all clearing 9 out of 9, but we still have problems on basic mechanics that everyone should know, right? So therefore I'm gonna try and make these videos. So, step 1, we basically all stand where purple is, and then we have a hunter pull, because a hunter pull is just the easiest one to do, right? So the hunter stands here, the hunter only shoots the boss, second his arrow lands in the boss, as soon as the hunter sees enters combat, the hunter can just feign death, right? Then the boss is going to go to the rest of the raid, because he'll just pick whatever is alive, right, that he's in combat with. And doesn't matter really, because the tank is gonna run in and pick him up. By the way, if you are a tank, you cannot do any damage to him at all, because he takes 100% reduced damage taken, right? So the only way to build threat is either your warrior, Thunder, Demo Shout, Demoralizing Roar, and so on and so forth, Blood Rage, anything that basically generates threat. If you're Druid, you might even pre-heal yourself and try and like taunt him and get him to hit you, so when you actually heal, then that gives you a threat, and because you don't have salve on and so on, and you're in close proximity, it's probably your best way to get any threat at the beginning. Okay, the rest of the group will be over here, right? And as soon as we see the big guy moving, we know that it's now time to get into combat, right? Because we're in the combat with the boss. So we're gonna run in, and we're gonna shoot. There's gonna be a skull here, right? There's gonna be a skull here. We're gonna kill that. And then we're gonna go over here and kill this. And we're gonna kill X. And then we're gonna kill... I'm assuming it's gonna be Moon. Doesn't really matter, but we're gonna kill Moon. And then lastly, we're gonna kill this, right? Then we kill all the ads, and then we have like until 20% to go back onto the boss, because like that's when he starts casting anything else. Until then, like he needs to take 20% damage before he does anything else, or at least an internal timer doesn't start until the fourth ad is dead. Anyways, point. Next step. All melee will be on whoever happens to be star, right? It's normally myself, but it can be anyone, right? Because I tend to prefer off tanking. Anyways, the tank can drag the boss, right? You see this line here? Let's just do the boss first. So basically as the tank, right, there's this line, and then there's this line, right? If you're tanking the boss in between this, you're doing a fucking perfect job, right? It gives both the melee actually time to see stuff with the camera, and it gets us close enough that we can run into the middle, and it's far enough away that the blizzard drops on the melee is not going to drop in the middle, and it's close enough to the center that we can basically use the whole room. Okay, cool. So tank, you basically just run with it along these lines, and you just stay here in the middle, right? Be careful of things with line of sight, but you're not gonna die to this guy. He's not gonna kill you. There's so much healing going on, and you're the only target taking damage for the first start of the fight, so you're not gonna be dead. Anyways, so you pick it up, you do your thing, make sure you build rate, right? And build threat is really important during the first stage, because as soon as everyone start piling in, you're gonna be in arcane resistance, and they're not gonna be. So you're not wasting your time down the boss. Like when you start the fight, you need to build threat immediately, as soon as you can get to it. As soon as the first thing dies, you need to start pumping, right? As soon as the third one dies, you start popping some cooldowns, so you still get 75% threat, but at least your cooldown's not going to waste into the into zero, right? Okay. Then you just drag it around, you get the beam, you get the guided ley beam. Every time you get the guided ley beam, you basically just run about 20 yards, something like this, right? Maybe this is 20, 25, something like that, right? You run back, you drop it, and then you run back in and tank the boss. Meanwhile, all the melee are going to be standing on star, and we're going to be standing in max range, right? I see it every week that the boss will be here, right? And then fucking melee are standing here. You fucking morons. What is going to happen the second that the blizzard lands on you, right? It's going to land basically dead center on the boss, and it's going to be a big fucking circle around it, and that means none of us can fucking DPS the boss, so we lose all our uptime, right? We're just standing there for fucking 10 seconds being able to do jerk all, because you don't fucking understand that you're supposed to stand at max melee range. This is just good practice. Like, this is good practice for any mob, any boss, any raid, any place. It works for KT, it works for this, it works for Saf, because you don't get hit by the fucking blizzard with every other fucking moron who stands inside his ass, right? Like, if your tongue can reach that fucking nutsack, you are too close. You are too close. That's all I can say. You are too fucking close. You need to be at 5 yards, and you need to be at max melee range, right? Then also try and be stacked, because if the closer we're stacked, the more likely it is that we are gonna be dead center and we can run out of it easier, right? So you don't need to do anything else. The blizzard drops on us, you just press W, just straight W, right? And then you turn, and then you do exactly the same thing on the opposite side. As soon as the blizzard is gone, we move back. The reason we want to move back is because we want to try and keep it at the edge of the board, right? We want to try and keep it away from casters, healers, and if we do have to run in and kill a crystal, it's really annoying if there's a fucking blizzard in our way, right? So we want to keep it at the back, so we want to try and drop it here. Anyways, I think that's enough ranting about melee. And melee, of course, Ley-Seekers and Infinities are the stuff we turn for, right? The Infinity, I'm never really that worried about because that will just die. But the Ley-Seekers, every single person has to swap to Ley-Seekers. If you're not the armor exposed rogue, you're swapping to the Ley-Seeker. That goes for the casters as well. I have so many fights where the casters have done like 3k, 2k, like 0 damage to the fucking Ley-Seeker. The Ley-Seeker is the only thing in this raid that can wipe us besides not killing the affinity. Like, entirety of kara40 is just ad management. So please, manage the ads, right? The faster the ads die, the more likely we are to succeed. Cool. I think that's it for melee. There isn't really much else. I'll sometimes call Zapper because the whelp spawns on top of us and we'll just kill him immediately, and we generally only need to do that once because sometimes the second wave spawns on us, but it's not a big deal because we already killed the first one real quick, so the next one we will still be healthy, we'll have health and all that. Oh, and by the way, the whelps also have priority because the whelps very weak. They don't do basically any physical damage. But they shoot like an arcane bolt or some shit like that that does like 2.5k damage. One whelp is not gonna kill anyone, but 15 whelps will wipe half the raid in like 5 seconds. Right, so that's why we need to kill the whelps. Anyways, enough ranting about melee. Okay, next thing that I see that's problematic, let's try and keep the blue circle of the boss, right? So, casters, especially healers. You have 40 yards, right? 40 yards, right? So you can... I don't sadly have a target here to show you, but like you can be this far back and you can still heal everyone, like everyone in this fight. Like you don't need to be closer. Like I see a lot of healers standing here, puddled up with the casters, especially the short ones, when like the Shadow Priest and stuff. Like if a Shadow Priest can hit anything and you're any other class, you're too close. Like you should not be next to the Shadow Priest. Like the Shadow Priest is the closest guy, everyone else fucks off on him, right? We're all gonna have to be further away than him, right? So basically, play accordingly to what you are, right? If you're Shadow Priest, you're in the closest, right? Because you have to. Then the next guy up is gonna be like the Warlocks, the Affliction Warlocks, and stuff like that, because they have the 30-yard limit on the Shadow Bolt cast because they don't have any improved destruction, right? So they're gonna be like 30 yards, right? And the Priest will like 26 yards. This is way closer than 26 yards, but you get it. You still wanna be close enough that if he does move, you're not gonna lose DPS. But you get the point, right? You're gonna be like at 70% of what your max range is, right? And then the same thing goes for the Warlocks, and the same, I think, then we have Mages, right? And Mages goes to 36 as far as I remember. If they're all arcane, right? Which they most likely are. And then there's like that one special kid in the class who happens to be like Marksman Hunter, but like there's so few of them, but they will be the last line, right? Also, don't just use one side of the room. Use all of the room except for the center. Like this one in here, this one we keep clear for obvious reasons, right? We don't want there to be a blizzard on the thing that we have to kill. Like we need to be able to be in the middle. Therefore, we need to stay out of the middle, at least until it becomes necessary, right? So we stay out of that. But I never see any casters over here, and they're like, "Oh my god, the tank is gonna drop the thing on me." No, the tank is not gonna drop fucking anything on you, right? You're just gonna stand in max range and you're gonna be perfectly fine, especially healers, right? Because you can be 40 yards. And let's say the mark is over here, and you're the tank, and you run over here, and you drop it right. It's not gonna reach the boss, and it's not gonna reach the fucking healer who's standing over here. Like, he's gonna be completely fine. Like, you're gonna be fine here, right? This is far enough. The circle only looks bigger because the fucking people are playing Tauren druids, and they're using fire water and all this shit, right? It's because you're using patch O. Patch O doesn't show you how big the range is. The patch O is just set for a specific race, right? It's most likely set humans as basic, right? So if you're a human, yeah, it's gonna show the correct size. But any other thing, it's gonna show either too little or too big. If you're gnome, if you have a gnome tank doing this, you'll be like, oh my god, I can basically stand on hugging him, right? But because the circle is gonna be so small, it's not a model of the spell. It's a model of the character that it's on. So please keep that in mind, right? Always adjust accordingly, right? Depending on what it is. If it's a Torrent Druid with 4-eye Voter on, then you can be a little closer than the circle shows. And if it's a gnome tank who's using fucking what is the thing called? Nagafucker Elixir or whatever, then yeah, you should not be inside the little green circle because the green circle is maybe like 2 yards, right? Anyways. Now that that out of the way, casters, you can also stand here, right? Use your room, use the room, use all of the room. Stop standing in packs. Like, I don't want to see a blizzard go down and then all of a sudden 4 or 5 of my casters taking damage. Use the room, use the range. Like, there's nothing wrong standing here. The only thing, right? Like, the biggest thing that you can take away from this is if you're standing alone and you're able to cast on the boss, there is 39 other targets that are going to get the blizzard, which means your personal DPS is going to be improved because you do not have to move when everyone else does, right? Like social distancing, right? Because every fucking other retard in this raid, including myself, are just out to mess up your pass. Think of it like that, right? If you are DPS. Focus on the ads, focus on the boss. And also another thing, when you don't swap to the Ley-Seeker, the only person you're griefing is yourself because the boss takes 25% less damage, so your all over DPS is gonna be lower, right? Attack the target where you can do the most passing, right? It's gonna be whelps. That's gonna be priority 1, right? There's gonna be a million whelps. Kill the whelps. Affinity. Well, if we don't kill the fucking affinity, then we're all going to die, right? So if you are one of the spell classes that can detect affinity, of course go for the infinity. Because if the boss enrages, your pass is going to be 0 for this attempt, right? Cool. I think that's pretty much it. He doesn't really do much else. He cast a fear and he cast a fear, he cast a blizzard. He cast a curse at 30%. Right, if you're okay, here's this pro tip. If you're a healer with a lot of mana, like a lot of mana, and you never feel like you're mana starved in this fight, the perfect thing to do is to use a Restopod. Because when you pop the Restopod, you'll basically be able to catch 2 curses. And if you can catch 2 curses, the guy's gonna be dead. Right, so that's worth noting as a healer. As a DPS, potentially, but it will help out, right? If you have the mana pool for it. I don't think there's anything else to say, right? Do your job, decurse, keep fear water on the tank if you're priest. Don't cuddle up if you're ranged, and if you are melee, make sure that you are cuddling up very tightly. I think that's basically everything there's to say about this boss. And I guess that will be my rant for this one. I will go rant for the others, and hopefully someone will actually watch these videos and our rates will improve, because having 3 rates is fine, but having 3 raids with 120 people who don't know what's going on, well, 117 people, but still, is hella frustrating. Well, thank you and have a wonderful day.